So let me give you some love letter here from China, Tom, and I want to get your reaction on this one here. China lashes out, says peasants in the United States will suffer from the trade war. Rob, I think you got a clip on this. If you want to prepare this here, is this the one? Yes. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
美国一而再、再而三对香港进行遏制打压，换来的只能是其在香港的代理人的加速灭亡，最终必将反噬其自身，让美国那些乡巴佬们在中华民族5000年文明面前去哀鸣吧。
I'm not eating Chinese food for 6 months. That's my boy. He called me a peasant. I'm not going to take a chopstick.
Can you play the last 5 seconds one more time? Just play the last 5
Those are fighting
seconds
words,
if you
Pat.
can. Watch this. Go ahead.
美国那些乡巴佬们在中华民族5000年文明面前去哀鸣吧。
That's what bro. That's fighting words.
Let me read this to you. Okay, so here we go. Jia Baolong, great name, director of Chinese, Hong Kong, and Macau Affairs Office, criticized U.S. tariffs as extremely shameless, stating, let those peasants in the United States wail in front of 5,000 years of Chinese civilization, which is what we just watched, in response to J.D. Vance's claim that the U.S. borrows from Chinese peasants to buy their goods. Jia addressed the National Security Education Day, called the U.S. the biggest sinister manipulator, undermining human rights, freedom, the rule of law, prosperity, and stability in Hong Kong, and a bully. He warned, the U.S. isn't after our tariffs, but our very survival. The Chinese people do not cause trouble, nor are they afraid of trouble. Pressure, threats, and blackmail are not the right way to deal with China. Alleging U.S. suppression of Hong Kong will eventually backfire on itself. Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson Lin Jian previously criticized Vance, saying, to hear words that lack knowledge and respect like those uttered by Vice President is both surprising and kind of lamentable. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, here's what China's doing. Our VP spoke, so Xi is never going to talk to our VP. Xi sends this guy out. Xi Baolong, director of China's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office. What? It's like the director of China's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office. Hardly the vice president of China. So they're sending out a lower level guy to go make a comment because China is very symbolic. They're very symbolic with what they say. And so they're like, okay, your number 2 guy wants to talk a little trash, then we're going to talk a little trash. Behind the scenes, they have currency problems. Behind the scenes, they're still tearing down apartment buildings that they overbuilt. Behind the scenes, they are still about to have to deal with changing the demand from their largest customer in the known galaxy, us. And so it doesn't mean that this is easy, and it doesn't mean that they're not a force to be reckoned with. But this guy, he's just out talking trash because J.D. Vance said peasants, so this guy's going to say peasants.
But let me tell you what's going on here, which is the one part that we have to be careful with because they know what they have that we're having a hard time with. Remember when we were talking yesterday, the fact that Trump wanted Greenland, why? Because the beach is beautiful? Because we're all going to be going tanning there?
No.
Or because they have minerals? Trump wanted who else? Ukraine to come to the table, and Putin kind of hurt the speed because Putin's not working that quickly on the negotiation. And why did he want a negotiation deal with Ukraine? Because they offer what? Minerals that we need. 2 of them were the ones to get the minerals, right? So watch this here. Trump's tariffs put to test as China chokes off critical mineral supplies. Chokes off. So we need it. Nope, you're not going to get it. Rob, is that the clip? Okay, play this clip, Rob. This is very interesting to see what's going on because the longer it takes, guys, can you, if you're going to talk, guys, over there on the left, if you can, you guys can go to the cigar lounge. We can hear you. If China uses this as a leverage, Putin, Russia, Ukraine, Greenland doesn't happen, a lot of business owners are going to be calling Trump saying, hey, what are we going to do about this? Rob, go on and play the clip.
In Vietnam, they brought the pomp and circumstance to welcome Xi Jinping, and 2 communist leaders walked the red carpet so Beijing could portray itself as a benevolent source of regional stability.
China will insist on joining hands rather than throwing punches, tearing down walls instead of building barriers, connecting instead of decoupling.
Xi's Southeast Asia tour was pre-planned, but he's using it to confront the U.S. for what Beijing calls an irresponsible trade war and recent sanctions on Hong Kong, China's top official there said today.
The repeated attempts of the U.S. to contain and suppress.
Well, let me read this to you. China halted exports of rare minerals critical for weapons, electric vehicles, and electronics in retaliation to Trump's 145% tariff. So let me give you an idea what we're going through. We have SLS next week at Mar-a-Lago. We have an event that's coming up next week at Mar-a-Lago. We purchased $1 million worth of merch that's coming in, and we have it coming in from all over the place, but one of the shipments coming from there. It's at the port. It's waiting there saying, hey, if you want it, you're going to have to pay another $250,000 in tariffs. Not me. This is the fee. So a lot of people are currently experiencing this small little pain. How many guys are experiencing it yourself in your business? Can you raise your hand if you've had anything happening with tariffs in the last 2 weeks? Raise your hand if you can. Okay, fantastic. Watch this. It says in rare minerals for weapons, electric vehicles, electronics, in retaliation to Trump's 145% tariffs impacting U.S. manufacturing and defense supply chains, National Economic Council Director Kevin Hessett said rare earths are part of lots of the economy. The rare earth limits are being studied very carefully, and they're concerning, and we're thinking about all the options right now. China producing 60% and processing 90% of global critical minerals imposed export controls on 7 rare earth minerals, stopping magnet shipments on April 4th. The ban spares finished products, potentially undermining Trump's tariffs while U.S. industries face production delays. Josh Ballard, CEO of U.S. Rare Earth, predicted, I'm betting it affects a lot of the auto manufacturers fairly quickly. Anybody who's doing their assembly manufacturing here, there will be a knockdown effect. Tom, thoughts on this?
Remember, I think we all remember, what did Zelensky and Trump supposedly come to a verbal agreement before the famous fight in the Oval Office? It was a ceasefire and minerals deal with Ukraine. And then they came in there and, Zelensky made a couple snide comments back with the media, and then he and Vance went at it. Remember that? Mm-hmm. So this is one of the things where we have to remember, our president is showing leadership here. He was trying to get out in front of this. He knew China's going to play this card. And he's trying to get out in front of it and saying, hey, we're giving all this money to Ukraine. They've got rare earth minerals. It's like they say, PayPal now accepts Bitcoin. United States now accepts rare earth minerals. Pay us in that, right? Pay us back in that. And then Greenland, he's talking about, look, you're not thrilled with the Dutch, perfectly thrilled with the Dutch. And China's been trying to get what? Mineral drilling rights in Greenland. And by the way, Greenland only has 54,000 people, which is basically a sold out, baseball game at larger stadiums. That's it. And so Trump has been trying to get out in front of these things because he knows the chess game he's going to play. And I think people need to, hey, it's in a pinch right now and he's still got to negotiate it. But this is playing out in front of our very eyes.
Let me ask you,
finding out that he was right and he was in front.
Does this hurt Elon, though? Does this hurt Elon?
I think so.
Okay. So how long can he go with this pain? What do you think? Because to me, we don't know the answer. It's not like you're talking to the guy every day. Can you text him, find out how long he can go? What I'm saying is purely speculate. How long can he go? Can he go a month? Can he go 2 months? Can he go 3 months? Can he go 6 months? There is a time. How long can he go? Because he's also got great relationship with China. Elon does a lot of business with those guys on the other end. So if this is affecting, so he's kind of in the middle where I got my business dealings I'm doing and we need these minerals. Where do we go get them from? Ukraine's not moving fast enough. They flipped. There are so many moving parts. The toughest thing about negotiation is when you're in the middle of a deal and like we were going through this at the tail end of selling our business, there was a handful of things moving at the same time. And it was not fun. And at any point, the deal was about to fall through. At any point. Any point for the last, would you say 8 weeks?
Yes.
The level of anxiety and angst. By the way, when the money hit the account and we closed, we were in a room, and when the announcement was made, You remember Moral's reaction?
Yeah.
You remember your reaction?
Yeah.
You remember the entire room, what it was like?
Oof.
It was as if weight was lifted. Now, that's a small little business compared to a government as big as we are. They have 20 things going on right now that one doesn't work out affects this one. Panama Canal, China, CK, Hutchinson Minerals, deals. We need these chips. NVIDIA prices are going up. So he's kind of in the middle trying to negotiate all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end up. I do know if you voted for this and we're pushing it and we're challenging them, do I think China is going to be willing to, go through more pain than us? Do I think China can be a bigger asshole and care about their people? Like, who do you think cares more about voters, Americans or Chinese?
Not even close.
They don't. Do they even vote?
What politician cares more about voters?
You know what I'm saying? Do they vote in China?
That's
They don't.
That's
they
the
don't.
joke. The
Yeah.
joke part is what?
Yeah.
Chinese people look at their voters as what? Listen, you have nothing to say. Relax.
Yeah.
This is
We're in
China. You're going to
charge.
do whatever we tell you to do. Right. In U.S., you got midterms around the corner. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on here. Adam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually in favor of what Trump is doing with China. I like the concept. I like the idea. I like the mission. I don't like the game plan. He could have gone about this so much clearer and better and prepared everybody. So I'll make an analogy. Born and raised in Miami, you've experienced hurricane season now for a few years now. A hurricane just doesn't pop up in Miami. You're like, it's hurricane season, brace for impact. It's going to happen in the next 6 months. And then when a hurricane happens, you have like a week or two to prepare off the coast of Africa. You're like, all right, cool. We got this. Get the shutters, get the wife, get the kids, get everything out of there. Trump showed up like a freaking tornado. Boom, tariffs. So everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? And business owners had no time to react. 30 days. So markets can move pretty quickly to respond. Yeah. But businesses are going to take 60, 90, 120 days to even realize what the hell is going on here. So in my opinion, I voted for Trump. I support him taking on what he's doing with China. The concept is a little reckless in my opinion. It's almost like, if I could give one more analogy, we had freaking the Democrats drunk at the wheel, DUI, drunk on power and big spending. They're making our boys, girls, they're chopping things off. Everyone's gay, everyone's going big spending. We're like, dude, we need a freaking safe driver. What's it called when you
What? DD, designated driver.
Designated driver. Clearly, I need one with my Ubers. Designated driver. Trump's like, listen, I got this. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't even have tattoos. He shows up. He puts on Dale Earnhardt hat. He's flicking off everybody. He's just speeding down the race. Reckless driving. You're like, bro, you were just supposed to be chill. He's just going a little too fast right now. Pump the brakes. Let's sing this.
I say
back to neutral.
no. I say he puts it in fifth gear. He keeps doing exactly what the hell he's doing. This is what we voted for. He's the only.
Thank you.
He's 3
Thank
months
you.
in, and everybody's acting on the left like it's the end of the world. Remember World War III, North Korea, Russia. It's all BS. I said this. Everybody needs to calm the hell down. Let's not forget who China is, guys. They are our enemy. I hate hearing the word adversary. That's the same watered down for the enemy. The amount of crap that they do to us as a nation. And let's not forget, COVID, we still to this day, even the CIA, Radcliffe has to say, it's most likely it came from that's how powerful these people are, that we still can't say the words, it came from China, it came from Wuhan, at a lab that we started with freaking Fauci, who got a preemptive pardon. I think, Pat, stay the course. They are our enemy, and you mentioned the chess game. Who's gonna break first? Who's gonna get the checkmate? I think he has to stay. Yes, we're gonna suffer, but at the end of the day, they are our enemy. You hear that freaking Zhao, I don't know what the hell his name was, talking shit and calling us peasants. Regardless of the situation, that's what they think of us. It's gonna be a fight. And me as an American, Pat, I don't have a company where I'm losing that money and all that stuff. But what other tactic has worked throughout the years? Nothing. And they're gonna win. Their GDP is gonna pass us in 10 years.
Let me tell you, no, I don't think anybody is disagreeing with that idea. Everybody wants to see this happen. But there's also an element of, are these executives, his executives that he's known for 10 years? Is his executive team people that he's worked with for 10 years?
No. These are
How long has he had?
Oh, and off
months, weeks,
not
months,
even
years.
yeah.
So guess what happens when you have that? So if you run with a group of people that you've been running for 10 years, guess what you know?
Everything.
No one's talking to each other. It's just signals.
Yeah.
You got it? Boom. Good.
Yep.
So part of it is also here where, I don't know. I trust what the vision is. But on the back end, who's dropping the ball on the Ukraine negotiation deal? Who's dropping the ball on the Panama stuff? This is a very good plan if it's executed, but the leadership team's only been working together for 2 or 3 months. You can say all you want. You put a brand spanking new company together with 10 C-suite executives from 10 different companies, guys, make it work. It takes a minute. So I'm a little bit watching to see who I can rely on, because this is what I'm thinking if I'm the president. I'm sitting, I'm sizing everybody up. I'm like, okay, is that guy really going to get the job done that I need to get done right now, or is he trying to run for office for 2028? Is that guy really going to do whatever we need right now to get the job done, or is he trying to fight for another job? Is that guy really doing this? Or that's what I'm thinking. Why? I haven't worked with you for a long time. I don't need to ask that about Tom. Tom and I have been in business together we've known each other for almost 20 years. We've been in business together for a while. But I don't know this camp. So I don't know if this camp is executing this chaotic plan accordingly at the level of urgency you need. I don't know.
You make a good point, because it's technically, he's in again. This is a startup. If you think about it, everybody's brand new.
Very new executive team.
Yep.
It's a very new executive team, and you don't know everyone's motives. You don't. You don't yet know everyone's motives. This is a very heavy-duty negotiation going on all at the same time. Some of it needs to close.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have 20 pending deals that are open, you come to your executives and you're like, hey, you had 4 of them. When are you closing this thing? You said this is going to get done. Why is this taking 3 weeks longer? Your deadline was March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are we doing? Let's go. Hey, you have 4 projects. All 4 have been completed. Guys, why is this guy getting everything done? You're not done yet. You slowing your things down is hurting the other big things that we're working on. I can't go do this if you haven't finished up this project. What the hell are we waiting for? Do we need to find somebody else to do this over you? I think that's maybe what's going on, because if it's not matching publicly, you have to show what? That you're united. And then think about it. A lot of the guys that you have on your team are also business owners. So guess what business owners are looking at? Some of the policies that we're coming up with is doing what?
Hurting them.
It's hurting the business. So they're kind of like, are they policies first or their business first?
Right.
Are they America first? Are they their business, their own net worth? What? This is very, very complex. We can sit here and talk about a podcast and a YouTube and, hey, let me tell you. Let me tell you, they're running the biggest corporation in the world with 10 brand new executives who have never worked together before. Go ahead. Run this biggest corporation. It's challenging. So I don't know what's going to be happening, but a part of me is kind of anticipating some deals closing up. Close the loop on a couple of these deals. We're being told, I'm pretty optimistic the BlackRock deal is going to get done with Panama Canal. Stop saying that. Close the damn deal. I'm pretty deal the Ukraine-Putin thing's going to get done. Freaking fly over to Russia already. Let's get some of this stuff done. That's my concern. Adam, you have one thing to say? And
I fully agree. As someone that runs a business and understands sales, you have 20 deals in the pipeline. Oh, that deal folded. That didn't come through. Oh, man, what happened with that client? Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, 20 deals, you have 10 deals. 10 didn't close. You're like, we better close these right here. What's going on with Iran, with the nuclear missile deal? I'm going to end the war in Russia before I even it's still going on. Putin's still bombing Ukrainians. Gaza, we're going to get all the hostages back. Nah, they didn't really do that. Inflation, where are we at with that? So, like, I fully understand where Vinny's at. This is what we voted for. I want this. I love that about Vinny. But also we need to have, like, a measured sort of sense of understanding. Like, we can't just be in the back seat with a reckless driver and be like, this is the driver, bro. It's like, well, tell him to fucking pull over. And, like, let's buckle up some seatbelts for a second, guys. So I love Vinny. I love, that's what America is. Like John Wayne over here, like a cowboy. But, like, you know, that horse ain't running.
But my question is 3 months to panic right now at 3 months? And I get
you asked a very good question. Who has more time? Clearly China.
Yeah, obviously.
Trump, we have got 16 months until the next midterm. What's the thing they said in Afghanistan when we were there for 20 years? It's like, you guys have all the watches. We have all the time. China don't give a shit. They'll starve their people. They'll put people in
They
camps.
are starving their people.
Yeah. You know? So we unfortunately have what's called empathy and care and approval ratings. And Trump's going to have to answer to somebody. And my biggest fear, if this doesn't work, you're going to start to see his team of rivals be like, I told Trump not to do this. You're fired. It could get ugly if he doesn't start getting some W's.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to know who's not doing the work.
Yep.
Like if one of the 10 executives or two of them are kind of not moving urgently, that story needs to leak to the public. Like, we need to know what's going on, because if you don't, everybody's going to be blaming him. What's going on right now? Who's not executing some of these deals? Again, I don't know the full details of what's going on here. I just think some of them need to close the loop where you have more leverage to negotiate. And a lot of these things are tied to one another. If you haven't yet joined Connect Circle, everything we talk about here on the back end, behind the scenes, the notes, what we're talking about right now, the notes that I have is in Connect Circle, unlimited messaging, unlimited videos. Behind the scenes right now when we're back there, we posted a video of what was going on. You kind of have to see it to be a part of it. If you're not yet part of PBD Podcast Connect Circle, download the app, join it. Throughout the day, everybody is talking with each other, and it's a bunch of PBD podcasters. They're talking to each other. Go download the app. A lot of exciting news is coming up with Connect here soon. But if you watch the PBD Podcast, download the app and join the PBD Podcast Circle. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.